Hi everybody, Sean here with more Photoshop tips and tricks. And this is a question that I got asked numerous times on Twitter and Google Plus, and I'm going to answer it. And in so many words, what they're asking is that how do you distort an image to fit a particular layer, to change the contour of the layer to fit a plane, a specific shape. So I thought the best way to do that was to take this image here, okay, and to place it on this iStock picture of this book, this open book with an empty page. This is the best example I could give because look at the page. It's naturally bent, it's wavy, it's not flat, and it's not a particular shape. It's moving, it's bent. It's almost like a wave. And of course you have your image that's on a standard plane that's flat. So no matter what you do to it, you could free transform it, but no matter what you do, you can only scale the image up and down, okay, and change the scale of the image. So what they're asking is to say, how could we fit this in this page and make it look realistic? Well, there's a couple things you could do. The first thing that I would do is, like I did before, is try to get it roughly around that size. But don't go too crazy. Then once you have that, what I would do is I would drop the opacity down so that you can actually see the underlying layer. So in this instance, I want to drop the opacity down so I could see just enough of the layer I'm working with, but I could see the pages of the book under it. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do Command or Control, depending on if you're on a Mac or a PC. Command or Control after we free transform. So Command or Control T, then Command or Control, and while you're holding it down, notice the cursor turns white. You can actually kind of skew this. So we can actually put this into the corner here. We could put this into the corner here. Put this into the corner here, and if you're having a problem seeing what you're doing, you can always change that opacity, and that gets us roughly in the right area. We're kind of getting the right idea, but we're still not 100% exact. That layer, even though it's distorted, it's not completely correct. If you can see here, we have the waves of the binding of the book here, the pages. We have the pages up here, and our image is only here. So how can we fix the rest of that? If you look here, we have a warp button. When I click warp with the left mouse button, I get all these extra distortion points. These are warp points, and you can all pull these in. Okay, so I would start down here, and I would pull these points up. Now look at this, almost like the pen tool. We get a lot of control here. Okay, we can go left, right, we can go up and down, and really this is just a matter of futzing with this to fit the page. Okay, so we're going to go like that, and it's just a matter of playing with it. Okay, we're going to get this up here. I'm going to pull this up. We're going to pull this up. Look at that. Actually bending it now just like the page. So we're almost like we're molding this image onto the book. So we're molding this image onto the page. Okay, and you can really start to go crazy here. You could really futz around with it. And to check on your progress to see how you're doing, we can pull the opacity back up. Hit the check mark. We'll pull the opacity back up. And as you can see here, I can see some of the image, some of the page here. See? We can turn it on and off. We're almost there. So I want to go back in. And I want to maybe bring this out a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Okay. A little bit here. A little bit here. Okay. I'm going to hit there. And there we go. Okay, I see a little bit of finishing touches. Like I said, you can go back and you can really go crazy with this. It's really just a matter of moving these points around, getting comfortable with the warp tool, and you can really have a lot of fun with this. This could be used in many ways. Now, there's something else that I'd like to talk to you about. The other thing that I'd like to touch on is this photograph doesn't really have it, but you'll see like a shadow, a natural shadow in the binding of the book. So if the image looks too flat and you don't have that realistic shadows, you can actually add that to the image by just going to the blending modes and going to multiply. See how it darkened it a little? But not too much so on this book. But normally, you wouldn't get natural shadow in here, so it would actually almost be like a gradient. Okay? We'll just I see some little touch-ups here I could do. Okay, for the purposes of this tutorial, I think that's more than enough. So there you go. So look at that. So we could turn the layer on, or turn the layer off, and then back on again. Okay, I hope that was a good example. I think it should have been. I hope that answered all your questions. Try this tutorial out, and I'll talk to you again soon on the next tutorial. Take care.